A very good morning to all of you. I request all of you to switch off your mics and camera for the smooth conduction of the session. Good morning, participants. I request all the participants to switch off audio and video for the smooth conduction of the session. Thank you. Dear participants, you will get the feedback link in the chat box at the end of today's session. Please fill in, and you are going to get your e-certificate within 4 working days after this session. Thank you. Good morning, participants. You are going to get your feedback link in your chat box at the end of today's session. Please fill in, and you are going to get your e-certificate of the participation within 4 working days. Thank you. Chat box at the end of today's session. Please fill in. I request all the participants to unmute yourself for the smooth conduction of this session. Thank you. Dear participant, please turn off your mic and the cameras for the smooth conduction of the session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sumati ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Shall we start?
We can begin now, ma'am.
Okay. A very good morning and welcome to one and all present here. Respected Professor Kaushika ma'am, trustees of the college, all the researchers and educators, I, Sumati Shinai, campus director, welcome you all on behalf of Vivekanand College for third day national level webinar to perceive the knowledge in neural networks. Walking on the footsteps of Swami Vivekanand with a vision to educate the society, our managing trustee Sri Vipuljoy Bhai Joshi had started this college in the year 2001. During this tenure, college has provided a supportive environment for the innovation. Swami Vivekanand asked, what is education? Is it book learning? No. Is it diverse knowledge? It is the training by which the current and expression to will are brought under control and become fruitful is called as education. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. This quote is very true for today's speaker, Kaushika Pal ma'am, who imbibes the qualities of a good speaker. It's a privilege to welcome ma'am. It is a pleasure to welcome all the educators who are attending this webinar. Now I request Principal in charge of Vivekanand College, Mrs. Deeptiya Patel ma'am, to introduce ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good morning and welcome to the third day of national level webinar. Today we have amongst us a young researcher, Professor Kaushika Pal, who is head of MCA department at Sarvajanik College of Engineering and Technology. She has total 15 plus years of work experience in the education field. She is always aspired to gain knowledge in the emerging field, which is the driving force for her to try her hands in innovative research. She has stamped her presence in the territory of natural language processing by presenting ample number of research papers in the reputed journals like IEEE and Springer. Her hard work and dedication is always been appreciated by the panelists of various conferences. She has been acknowledged for publishing best research paper for document classification in one of the international conference organized by IDS Australia. Recently, her research work for emotion classification using machine learning and natural language processing got admired by the session chairs. She is not only actively involved in research, but also generous and humble personality, I know, with great sense of humor. Welcome, ma'am, on behalf of Vivekanand College for informative session on natural language process. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Deepja, for such a nice introduction. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate each and every teacher listening to me today for not affecting academics in this pandemic era. All are starting our morning with are we audible, are we visible, like of thing. And secondly, I like to congratulate campus director Sumiti ma'am and principal Deepjaya ma'am and entire team of Vivekanand College for aggressively working to make this 3 days webinar possible in the benefit of researchers and academics. So I will start with my, so I am allowed to share screen. Thanks, Karthik.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can share.
Yeah. Thanks for allowing me to share. So I hope it is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Great. So as this is disturbing, I'll take it down. Just a moment.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. So now we are going to talk about natural language processing, in which I'm working from last nearly aggressively from 3.5 years, but from 5 years actually. So okay. Karthik, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I want to bring this down, but it is not allowing. Yes, it allowed me to minimize. Actually, it was not allowing me to minimize. So we'll start with natural language processing. My motive of this talk will be anybody who is attending will have a record in their repository of knowledge and can have hands-on after attending my lecture. They should be able to work on. That is my motive behind this talk. So I'll be starting with the base. What is natural language processing? How it is related to human language? And then I'll proceed with certain showing geographical location of various topmost languages of the world. And then I'll give definition of and computer linguistics.
This conference will now be recorded.
And before learning anything, we should know its application because that only draws our attention. And then I'll talk about 2 aspects of NLP, that is NLU and NLG. And then I'll focus on how AI, ML, and NLP are interrelated. Now, when we are working with NLP problems, data is the core of things, any language data. So I'll be talking about data collection. Data cleaning and removing impurities is very important before moving it for anything. And then I'll take an example and I'll show data cleaning on a piece of text, and during that program I'll show you how the data becomes meaningful after cleaning it. And then finally I'll be doing an experiment on sentimental analysis using logistic regression. I use logistic regression because it uses sigmoid function, which is very good for this binary classification. Secondly, lastly, I won't be able to cover all the challenges, but I'd like to draw your attention to some of the challenges. So when you work, you come to know. So let's start. So as you can see, natural language processing is a branch, or you can say component of AI, which enables computers to understand, interpret, and manipulate human language. And human language is so ambiguous that even if I say you don't understand, you say I don't understand, or I can interpret in different manner. And human language, which creates a lot of misunderstanding, and that we want our machine to learn. So it is highly related to, it is a branch of or component of AI, and you can see the Venn diagram of it. It is highly related. It is a branch of AI, and it uses machine learning, deep learning to achieve the target. I told you about linguistic. If you want to work on human language, obviously you should know about human language. And human language is not one. There are around 7,117 languages in the world. This number might be approximate because I have researched many times, and every website gives on some another number, but that many languages are available. So linguistic is about scientific study of your language, which analyze language form, language meaning, language in context. Because if I use ocean can be used in many contexts. I'll give example for that also. And then linguistics traditionally analyze human language by observing an interplay between sound and meaning. Now, what is sound and meaning? That becomes, when you speak, your tone and your hold, or your, like we write in exclamation or comma, that can be found in written. But when we speak, also our voice fluctuates throughout it. So I won't go much in detail in phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, maybe in some other lecture. But today I will like to jump on applications and some practical sessions. Computer linguistics is why important. It is important because human language or human knowledge is expressed only through language. And whatever language we speak, a computer has to understand to let us grow globally. And if you have noticed, after AI has come into picture, our the success is twofold or threefold, and gradually it will go tenfold, hundredfold because of AI. So computational linguistics is an interdisciplinary field concerned with the statistical or rule-based modeling of natural language from a computational perspective, and study of appropriate computational approaches to linguistic question. We'll also come to linguistics. And now I want to show certain geographical location within 1 minute, not more than that. You can see this. This is a world map, and here English. We think that English is an international language, but see how well it is used. So although it is well-spoken language, it is secondary language in some of the countries. This sky blue colors, and it is major language in the country shown in dark blue. Second is French. You can say the color shows the number of uses, and those very light sky blue shows it's rarely used, and this dark blue shows it's secondary language over there. And third is Spanish. This is Chinese, mainly used more in China, but Chinese is used more than anything else, although secondary, third, or gradually. So this is Russian, entire European mostly use Russian. Now I am talking about certain language. For example, if I talk about India, I'll say Hindi is spoken, but we don't speak only Hindi. We speak 22 major languages, and that also falling with so many categories. This is standard German. This is geographical area covering standard German. And finally, I like to say that we India, with diverse people, speak 22 major languages, but that too fall in certain categories. As you can see, North Indians follow in the... actually, these languages are divided into categories. And when you work with NLP, you should really know it. So north of it, in north we speak Bhojpuri, Awadhi, Gujarati, Punjabi, and Marwadi, and so many. But all those falls in into Aryan languages. And the entire south speaks on Dravidian languages, languages belonging to Dravidian category. And then you can see from north to north to east, they use Tibeto-Burman language. and very few, this purple color, use Astro-Asiatic languages. So if anyone say the if language is not there, we cannot be anywhere. Initially, we wrote programs in high-level languages supported by compiler to give machine tasks which we want them to do. But now we also want, and we are very much successful also in doing, making them learn our languages. But this learning natural human language by machine is not that easy. Behaving like human is not that easy. Now I like to draw your attention towards our national language, Hindi. As you can see, India is the basic country which uses Hindi with around 423 or 422 plus million users, but it is spoke in many other countries. I have just taken 9 topmost countries, but total speakers of Hindi language are around 531 plus million users worldwide. So I wanted to show you, okay, natural, when I'm talking about natural language, it's not only English or Chinese, or which is topmost language. We should work on our regional languages so that we can provide solutions to our normal people who can't learn English, or we should not, obviously we are relying on English, but since if my father has to use mobile, he's more comfortable in Hindi, but he may not be able to use all the features which is available in English. So working on natural language processing that's why important. Now we'll move towards language. What is language? I will not cover very much about what is language, but we should know the basic components of language. So any language, if you go it has a set of alphabets. Either it is Hindi, Gujarati, English, or any. They have set of alphabets, and many of the languages are there whose set of alphabets we cannot understand. If something is written in Chinese, and if I want to type and convert into English, I cannot type because I don't know the alphabet. But any language is form of alphabets which has a set of words which are said to be vocabulary. Every language has vocabulary, and this vocabulary is used to form sentences. But the sentences is not formed like is, the, then, and all. They have a proper structure, means they follow a set of rules, and that rules are said to be grammar. So learning grammar will be important. I was never aware before I started working with NLP. So yes, grammar is very important when you're working with an NLP, because when you work with extracting knowledge from your data for building something, any kind of grammar plays an important role. Using that, you can use part of the speech tagger, which is very well working for English, but US taggers of many Indian languages, say Gujarati, Hindi, they are not working well. So this is the area we people need to contribute. So now I'll come to a very important thing, application, because whenever I learn something, I have a question, okay, why we are learning. When my teacher taught me accountancy, I was thinking, why she's teaching me accountancy? I just hate it. But when I did my first project in 2005, that was about managing this balance sheets, and then I realized she was teaching me this because of this. Then someone was teaching statistics. When I started working on machine learning, I realized the importance of this. So whatever we learn, we should know its application, because it makes us easy to learn. It generates interest. So there are many applications. I have tried listed 12 of its application, and I'll briefly go through this just to make you aware that this is a very interesting domain to work with, and they have n number of applications. You can really work and contribute for Indian languages as well, and enrich our corpus as well as give solutions to them. So as I have listed, I'll go one by one. The first is text or document summarization. Now, if I am given a long, if someone sends me a long message, I just say, please tell me in brief now. I can't read so much long, right? So जैसे अभी बहुत कोरोना में आता है कि आप ये खाइए, आप ये पी लीजिए, वो पी लीजिए, उसको खाने से ऐसा होता है. Just say give me deadline कि सूट खाना है, काम खत्म. So we need such applications which, when work with long document, the convert can give us the summary of it. And there are around many algorithms for doing this in English language. And then we also want a abstract of, that summary cannot be in one page, but we want an abstract of, say, suppose I'm working on natural language processing. I want to know which books are good. So I can have a set of books and then just scan the summary, which book is discussing what. And since I'm implementing in Python, I'll preferably look for a book which is giving examples in Python rather than in any other tool, because there are so many tools available. Tool doesn't matter ideally, because we should be comfortable with the tool. And secondly is machine translation. Everybody knows about Google Translator, but suppose I am standing in Tamil Nadu and I don't know Tamil at all. So I should have an app in my mobile which I open and place on that. It should convert and give it in the English language. So what happens is, it helps me. I don't have to ask anybody else, because when I ask anybody, they might be speaking English or Tamil. I won't understand. So this application, machine translation, can go very well on mobile. When you travel across the world, you don't need to ask anybody. You place your mobile and you get the converted data. Secondly is topic modeling, document classification. Again, document classification is something like, what could be the labels. For example, so many news comes in my mobile. So I have a TOI app, I have Telehunt app. I'm not interested in all of the news. So what I can do is, I need a classifier which classifies that these are sports related, these are entertainment related, and these are technology related. So I'll be going only for technology related information, and sometimes sports. I may not be interested in entertainment. Some might be interested only in seeing entertainment, so they don't have to go to anything. Now, coming to topic modeling, I'd like to give example of our email box. My email box is flooded with so many mails. So it's really impossible to go through each and every mail, although I have 4-5 email IDs. So topic modeling, what it can do is, it can on the basis of the title of your, or subject of your, it can give the topic that this belongs to project, or this belongs to academics, this belongs to exam, this is appointment letter of exam, and this is some offer from some company, and this is some course on machine learning, this is some course on data science, and so on. So what they do in topic modeling, we don't have any title, we just have documents. That documents may have title, their documents may have name, or their documents may not have, they may have irrelevant name. For example, 123.1.txt or 1.pdf, or some irrelevant name, because we Indians are not that good in giving relevant names to our documents, or any people, because only 20% of data on the web is structured, that is unstructured. So you need information from those unstructured data as well. So that the solution of this is, you just provide clustering. So similar documents will be clustered together, and then you analyze on the using natural language processing. You can find top words, you can find what is the highest occurrence of the word, and then you can randomly provide topics to that cluster. I'd like to give one more example. Since we are listening news these days, and there are many topmost journalists like Arnab Goswami and Sweta Singh, Sudhir Chaudhary, Anjana Om Kashyap. So since we are very busy, we will like to follow one journalist. So what I'll do is, I'll collect all the news, say last 100 debates. I'll collect the 100 debates, and their debate may have title or not. But on the basis of the content, I can found that I can club together and can found that there are they have debated for 100 times of debated. There were around 45 times they've debated about Pakistan. Then some is debated 20 times on some rally. Then they have talked about some flood in some area for one time they have debated. Then they have debated for 20 times about some mandir. And that they have debated 20 times for some masjid. And then they have debated 4 times there was unknown reasons. It could not be extracted to some reason. And some other journalist who's talking about unemployment issues, how to solve economic issues, how we can upgrade our economic standard, what steps could be taken to improve our environment, what steps could be taken for women's safety or health or education. So obviously, using topic modeling, which is very tough, it's not that easy. But I can know that I should follow this journalist and I should ban this journalist from my life. because he will talk nonsense and it will not make sense to me. So topic modeling becomes very important when you have large amount of unstructured data. Second is sentiment analysis and question answering system. Now, questions, when you talk about considering answer, they have set of questions and then answers. Set of questions and then answers. Those are feeded. Sentiment analysis is, everybody might be aware about it, is normally done on product. For example, if I have seen a movie or I have purchased some product, if I'm about to purchase some product, I normally go through. Am I audible, right?
Going perfectly.
Yeah, fine. So, sentiment analysis, if I am purchasing some product on Amazon, we definitely go for this reviews, and then on the basis of it is 3.5, we should go. If it is 2.5, we should not go. So, sentiment analysis helps them also to access that this product. Then we are having speech to text, text to speech. If you might have gone through this Hangout Meet for conducting your lectures, you might have noticed that whatever you speak, it is streamlined on the down line on the bottom of your screen. So if you speak English, it catches your word. But if you speak Gujarati or Hindi, it gets confused and it doesn't. That is a good example of speech to text. Similarly, we have text to speech. Many people are working on text to speech as well. Some IIT professors are also working on text to speech on stories, so that children can just see this thing. So text to speech, one of application is like you. So now everybody is singer, if you can understand. If they get the voice is modified, so let's generate voice from text itself. Why to bring any singer? So not only singer, it's speech or anything could be converted into the text could be converted into music. The text could be converted into speech. Now how they will convert is and how they will take pause depends on the spatial characters used in the text. So pre-processing of your documents or data will depend on which application you're working. That highly depends on which application you're working. For some, you'll remove all special characters. For some, you'll code for that special characters, that if this character should appear, I should do this. Secondly is chatbot and market intelligence. Market intelligence is talking about any big company is looking for all the aspects. What is market, what industries are doing, what customers are wanting, what vendors are doing, competitors. So this data is very high and it's relatively tough. Now coming to chatbots, which we are using in day-to-day life. Whenever I open any helpline for any of the problem of my machine learning, data science or NLP, the chatbot appears and they just offer me some good course. So chatbots have become a very much part of ourselves. One of the chatbot which I am liking the most is by Healthify Me. And they have named that they have 4 different chatbots and they have named one of the chatbot as Ria. So whenever I ask, I want to know the recipe of muskmelon, so she just reply me that I don't have that, but she gives me 4-5 links of muskmelon recipes or benefits of muskmelon recipes. So this is how chatbots are working. They are working very nice, and by understanding chatbots, actually understand our language first, and then they generate language. Now that generation could be dictionary based, or it could be they might be using synonym to bring the answer to you. So that's chatbot. And finally, I like to discuss about this information retrieval and information extraction. Many people might have worked on this as well. So there is a very little difference between retrieval and extraction. Suppose there is a set of documents and I want documents relevant to something only. So retrieval system brings me only relevant documents, but extraction goes one step behind, ahead of it. For example, this is unstructured document, and for using information extraction, what I can do is it is written. I hope it is visible. The second sign of zodiac is Taurus. So what it is doing is there might be more here. So they just label the sign of zodiac as discussed, and then they are taking most common cause of that in America, heart disease. Here we are taking strokes are the 3rd most common cause of death in America today. So they are listing heart disease, cancer, stroke, and if you mention heart disease in different manner, They will use WordNet to bring the synonym and they will give it to you. This is the power of information extraction. And they have written, no study would be complete without mentioning the largest rodent in the world. And then they are bringing this. So information retrieval is bringing the document, and then inside the document we are going for information extraction, and then we are also going for information integration. So I think this many things are basically enough to work with. Now I'll proceed with the two different aspects of NLP. That is natural language understanding, generally known as NLU, and natural language generation. So understanding is machine is trying to understand our language, and application related to understanding is done on the basis of an NLU. Obviously, it's work together and works exactly the way using machine learning and deep learning methods. So NLU is computer understanding language. It can be applied to a lot of processes such as categorizing text, gathering news, analyzing content, and many more applications which I've listed. And NLG is about writing language. They write back to us. So it is chatbot. The best example is chatbot technology. So generally NLP is about reading language. NLG is about writing language back to us. And NLU is about understanding the language. So now it is important to know how AI, ML, and NLP are related. So AI, artificial intelligence, teaches us to do intelligent things. So here emphasis is on the creation of intelligence machines that work and react like humans. And secondly, machine learning learn from experience. Means you provide a set of inputs, and on that input, these are the outputs. It will develop a program, and if you provide them new input, they will give you the output of the new input. Okay, so that is machine learning. Now NLP goes one step ahead of this. It teaches system to be intelligent. They have to learn from experience, and then they have to understand human language itself. So they build system using AI and ML both. So build system that understand human language. Now coming to, I am directly jumping to this. So when we work with this NLP, we need data. So for English language, there are much data available. You can just get and do your experiment. But if you want to do something on Indian languages or low resource languages, they are also known as low resource languages. Probably you need to create a corpus first. And for using corpus, you visit various websites. Certain websites will provide API for you to get. You can use the API and get the data from website, or you can use web scraping. Python is very good for web scraping. And then either some corpus are available for this. I will also release my corpus once I am done with my research. I think everyone should do this in the benefit of languages of our country. Now coming to cleaning, I am jumping for two examples from here. Now, why cleaning is important? Now, cleaning is having certain unwanted characters. When the data is on web or anywhere, we have so many unwanted special characters. I'm not talking about this Kaushika.palat, that it's cat.ac.in. This is a valid. But normally, when we clean our data, we know about our application, what we want to do with our application. So we will clean according to our domain. And then we will remove certain of the unwanted words like and, in, the, which are rarely used and doesn't make any sense. And how does not it make sense? We'll see with an example. And then finally, we will see stemming and lemmatization. This is very important. There is a very less difference between there is a difference between stemming and lemmatization, which we'll see while example only. So now I want everyone to just see carefully, because I want you to do this practical once the session is over by your own, obviously. So I like to know whether this is visible well.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, so notepad is visible. So I like to guide if someone is not finding the font enough, they can just play on GoToMeeting. I found plus because yesterday I did that. So on GoToMeeting, there is plus sign. You can enhance font size at your level. Means you can zoom it and see it. Because I am new to Jupyter Notebook because I love PyCharm. I'm working on PyCharm, but for today I have specially done with this Jupyter. So Jupyter Notebook can be tried online as well. So just go through it. I am going to explore the features available in NLP library. Not all, but very less, so that you people can just understand what it can do. So I have taken a random text. What I've done is I've imported the library NLTK, and then I just printed the version to see which version I am using. And then I've initialized a random text. Okay, I've taken this from net, and since it was since this is the area of COVID-19, I've taken a small text because I want you to go through how cleaning reduces this to make us understand. So what I'm checking the type. This type gives you the data type of your whatever variable you're using. So I'm getting type, and it is saying it is string type. You can have object, you can have integer 64, and when you know type, you can convert in a form which you want to pass it to your model, because model doesn't take a string or object, they take numbers. So if you know the type, and by using this you can you can know the type and convert it. And then I'll directly jumping to tokenize it. If you remember, we were writing programs in C to generate words from looping programs, but in NLTK there is a feature called from NLTK tokenize import word tokenize. Word tokenize again is a class which allows us to tokenize our thing. Okay. So what I'm doing is from NLTK tokenize, I'm calling word tokenize, and then I'm taking these tokens in a list. This is list. And then I'm printing the tokens. So see, these are my tokens. This entire text is printed in tokens. I hope it is visible to you people. And then I want to draw your attention towards this bracket, closing bracket, and then again closing bracket is opening bracket. Then here is a dot, which is a separator, then semicolon. This is bullet. This is not dot, right? So for how many tokens are there, or how many words are there? Tokens are nothing but words. So I just I'm printing the length. So there are 151 words. Now I'll show you how by cleaning you are reducing this number. Okay, I hope everyone is with me. I don't have a habit of speaking alone without any response, but this pandemic has taught us this as well. So now I want to know frequency of each word. How many times a particular word is occurring? That also we were coding in C, and then we also coding in Java. But here we are having a class called function of frequency distribution, which is important from NLTK probability, NLTK package and probability class. So what I'm doing, I'm just calling this frequency distribution, and I'm passing this to tokens. And what it does, it just gives me the number of occurrence of each word. See. So this bullet is also occurring for 4 times. That is also given. Okay. So since I'm not able to see this, I'm using most common function of this frequency distribution, which will give me the top 20 occurrence of the words. So here are the 20. So I can see, and you know what is the importance of and. Then off is 8 times, the is 7 times, in is 6 times, COVID-19 is 5 times. So now we clear numbers. But seeing that this is COVID-19, we cannot make it 19 separate from this, because it is a name. Now, COVID-19 is a name. So we need to recognize that this is the entire name. That we should not remove this special character or this 192. So exploring your data is very important, because it prevents you from removing necessary things during the cleaning process of your data. So this is 4 times. So I have printed. Now what I want to know which word is occurring maximum of the time. So here I have maximum is found, and which is shown by here also. Okay. Now we have sentence tokenization as well, which will tokenize your statements on the basis of dot, because dot is a sentence separator in English. If you go in Hindi, it is something else. If you go in Gujarati, I'm not sure it is dot or something else, but yes, it is tokenized. So what I mean to say is NLP cannot be used directly for other Indian languages. You need to modify, or you need to add function, or you need to create your own set of function to do this task, and so on. So there are so I'm printing, and there are 2 sentences. where I have counted also sentences because they are separated only by this. And this is not needless to remember. They are not separating by next line. They are not separating by this bullets or something else. They are just separating by dot. So you can come to know the number of sentences. Now I am coming to cleaning, and cleaning is also easy using Python. What we are doing is we are just using a regular expression library of our available in Python, and this is we are using substitute function, and we are giving the list of the special characters we want to replace with null character. So again, it is very important to think whether you want to replace with null, you want to declare, replace with an empty string, or a single space. That you have to see, and that for that exploration of your data is very important. So then I'm displaying and see this is our new data. If you can really notice, all the special characters have been removed, and this is our real data. I just hope that everybody is able to see that how this has reduced our size of the corpus. Okay. So, which was having, I also printed number of, I printed how many tokens are available in my initial sets. I will like to print here as well. So, again, I am using the same thing, frequency distribution, and I am dividing this thing. And again, I am getting, see, now every special characters, closing bracket, opening bracket, this bullets or semicolon, everything has been removed. And now see the count. So by removing this, our count of 151 has reduced to 137. So by pre-processing carefully, you really get meaningful data. So now we will be working on removing stop words. So NLTK corpus also provides a set of stop words. Initially, it was only providing stop words in English, but now it is providing stop words of all the language. See, I've just printed this stop words, and this is Urdu, I guess. I cannot recognize alphabet, but this is Urdu, and then it will print all the stop words. So when you are writing program and you are just removing all this, you are moving a loop and writing stop word, means it will check for all these languages, language stop word. So you should mention for what language you are using this. So there are many. I have not counted its length. If you want, you can count. So obviously I want only English. So I have printed English. So this is English stop words, which makes less sense on the data. And sometimes stop words also plays an important role. That again depends on the type of application. So now what we are doing is see how Python reduces our coding. We are applying this word to new token set, and then what we are doing for a word in tokens if it is not in stop words. So if entire tokens, which if you remember, we have stored all our frequency by dividing into tokens, we have stored in a tokens, and now we are accessing if this token does not belong to stop word, then it should come to new token, and see how it reduces the feature set. Again, these are called features. When you work with NLP, obviously you have to depend on words only, and then you need to work on the combination of words as well. That also I'll show if time permits, but let's me finish my agenda first. So I am printing the new token, and then again you will find one important thing, that this the and some stop words are still here. Why they are here? Because if you have noticed, this all is in small letter. So we need to mention that as well. So what I'm doing, I just lowering and then comparing. So now from 85 to our word set has been decreased to 79. Okay. Now I'll be using frequency distribution again, which was giving topmost word as N, second topmost was off. So here we can see that it is giving COVID-19 5 times. Okay. So now this are something COVID-19, China, measure, joint, mixer. These words are making sense for further analysis. And using WordNet, you can find more synonyms of it, and you can give a real abstract knowledge of this entire one paragraph to some sort of little amount of words. This is how text summarization also works, but they use different techniques as well. I'm just showing cleaning. So now Max has become COVID-19. So and to 19. And was not making sense, but COVID-19 is definitely making sense. I hope someone should respond. It's fine. It's my pace is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
perfect, ma'am.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot. Now, for drawing your attention,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. So, to draw your more attention, I have used word cloud to print this important word cloud of these words. So let's how it is done. I won't go much in detail, but I have used matplot pyplot library, and then I'm importing word cloud, and then I'm plotting this. Okay, what I'm plotting the text. See here. And I'm not removing stop words. So if you want to use any function, there is n number of help available on the web. You just go and I think sklearn has a book called there is a document which is of 2,500 pages. You cannot refer one. So whatever function you are using, you just go through it and see the syntax, which parameter is working for what. And here I am generating this for the text which we have initialized earlier, right? And see, this is our word. This is called, I use for vocabulary as well. This is said to be word cloud of your words. Okay, it just fancy man. It just display your words in fancy manner. This you might have seen in many places. So this too is displayed. Now in word cloud 2 is not important. They are very much short. So after cleaning, what I did, I created a text with the new text. Okay, the tokens which were in new tokens, I've created a new text, and then I'm plotting this. Say overall goal joint mission rapidly informal national China. Means this have only ovals. So I've created a text. Now I'm printing word cloud of this. So there is no unnecessary word, and this is making sense. So this is way of visualizing, adding visualization to your normal cleaning process. Okay, so this was about cleaning. Now we'll go to the next step called stemming. Now coming to stemming and lemmatization, I would like everyone to listen very carefully. If they know, it is well and good. And if someone doesn't know, I hope I could add a record in the knowledge of your repository. So let's go. So NLTK stem has many libraries, you know. So I have used both Snowball and Photo Stemmer. And then I'm just stemming it, the tokens, new tokens. I'm stemming only the tokens which have been cleaned and stop words have been removed. So you can see this overall. But overall is overall. They have removed it. Okay. And then coming rapidly is rapidly. But they have... so this based on suffix or suffix basis. Just remove international, intern. Now international and intern both belongs to the vocabulary of English, and both have different meaning at all. So response is also a word, but they have done this. So stemming is not making that much sense because it is giving words which might not belong to the vocabulary of our English language. And then I'm using Snowball. Same, it is doing the same thing. It is again doing the same thing. Okay, and that's why lemmatization comes into picture. The difference between stemming and lemmatization is stemming works by removing suffixes, but lemmatization checks whether the rooted form of word, right, belongs to the vocabulary of that language or not. That is the benefit of lemmatization. So let's see the results of lemmatization. Now it is also belongs in stem class only, BirdNet lemmatization. I am initializing a variable, okay, with lemmatization, and then I'm just passing each token and printing that token with that. So now see, it is not losing the benefit of that. So this is difference between lemmatization and standing. I like to draw your attention. See, activities. This is the root form of it. While in here it's active. Now, if it converts in active also, if it is padded E also, it is of no use, because activity and active are both different things. Okay, so I hope I made it clear how this particular cleaning helps to get inside of your data, and how it gives only important things. Fine? Am I clear? This much is fine. So we'll proceed to
Yes,
the
sir.
PPT. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
Yes.
We'll come again back here. So, whatever data you're working with, you should carefully work with a piece of data to see how it is affecting. Then you should go for bulk processing, because if you go immediately for bulk processing and you clean so many files, and if you make any mistakes, the cleaning takes some time. Believe me, it takes so much of time. So you should always check for a set of text, probably having all possible characters. It is not possible to have all the characters, because when I did web scraping, I found certain different characters in different files. So slowly cleaning keep on adding new special characters to remove. So you should always try with this. And then we will proceed with sentiment analysis. I took this example because it is binary classification, and that's why I used. We have discussed many applications. Sentiment analysis is one of them. So whenever you are doing any application, you should think about what cleaning process it needs. And then before applying process, before using for any application, you should know that your corpus is clean. And secondly, you should know your data makes sense. So I have omitted data exploratory part for this particular talk, because it would have not given me so much time. But data exploration is very important, because you should know before proceeding, you should know that your data does make sense before passing to any of the advanced technique. Okay, you want to apply machine learning or deep learning techniques, but you should know your data is clean and your data should make sense. And for that, you should cleaning will give you some insight, but that data exploration will give you more insight, which I have not discussed in today's session. So let's go to an example. So for easiness, I have used CSV file. I have not used document, because documents are taking so much time. So I have used a CSV file, and I'll show you something. What are the fields of it? I'll show you that. And if time permits, I will also like to show you about the n-gram things. But let us first go here. So I'm using a CSV file which is residing in this particular location, which I have already set. And pandas is used to read a file, and already Snehal sir and that sir has shown us. And obviously, because I'm working with NLP, I'm importing library. And further, I'll be importing more libraries as needed. Okay. And then I'm just to know what this particular CSV file has, I'm just printing. So it just has review and sentiment. This review is positive, this review is positive, this review is negative, and so on. This is the data set. This can be in text file also, okay? And I have performed an experiment on text file as well, but that was taking too much time to load it. So I have switched to this, and document was only 2,000, and this is around 50,000 records. So then I'm describing. Describing give you more insight. So it is what it is giving. Let's see that there are there are 50,000 review and there are 50,000 sentiments. Review means this column, and sentiments means this column. And there are two unique. This many reviews are unique, and there are two unique sentiments. The two sentiments are either positive or negative. In some cases, you will also find neutral as well. So that will become 3. Okay, and then see this many are unique. Out of 50,000, this many are unique. 49,582 means rest of are not unique. They are just copy paste. Okay, so topmost what you copy paste house, but topmost of which? So topmost is this, which is occurring for 5 times and which is negative. And negative class is negative number of sentiments are 25,000. So equal distribution is there. Sometimes there is an unnormalized distribution, and believe me, it definitely affects your model if you have unbalanced data. But in real scenario, you have to deal with unbalanced data, because you can't expect to have balanced data in all the categories. But then obviously it affects our model. But then too we have to work with it. Then I'm seeing the size of, then I'm using group by to see the size of sentiment. So sentiments is having negative and positive 25,000 record, 25,000 records, and they are giving the data type is, the data type of this is integer 64. Then we are having unique. I am describing this. Again, it is giving the same. Okay. And here we are getting one more insight that this is name is row and the data type is object. So data type is very important to understand, because when you will work with model, and if there is error coming in the model, you should understand that you are passing wrong type of data to your model. You should convert that object or string to number format. And there are any number of functions available for doing that as well. I try to keep simple so that you can take something, you can start working, because to start with is difficult. Once you start, no one can stop you. So now I am using NumPy library to convert it into number, the array I'm using, and then see. What I'm doing is I'm printing histogram of string length. So as you know, reviewers have only having that string. So what is the probable side of string? So printing this gives me that there are around 35,000 reviews out of 55,000 reviews. This many reviews were falling around this 1,000, more than 1,000 value. 1,000 words were there. Okay, the length, and then around 10 or I can say 11,000 were having more than 2,000 words, and then less than around 3,000 were having this 4,000 words, and then around this much were having this 5,000 of words, and negligible was having 6,000 words in their review. My God. Okay, we don't write paper as well this much. Our paper also falls to some minimum 3,000 words. Research paper I'm talking about, but someone has written review of 6,000 words as well. Okay, so this gives me the length of various strings available. So see how much corpus we are handling. Okay, this gives us an idea how large corpus you are handling. And now again I'm using stop word. I'm printing the stop word again, because I thought to show it only one, but then I thought it is very important to show you the cleaning process. Now I'm splitting the review. I'm initializing a list. I'm splitting the review and storing all those words in this. Okay, so this was stop words. This is not related to our data, but here this is our data. Okay, I've just printed all the words of our corpus. Okay, and then I'm using collections default distinct functions to count occurrence of each of the word. So and by counting this, I'm using default distinct, and then it is counting occurrence of each word which I am using in a for loop for each word in the corpus. And corpus we have initialized here. Here we have initialized the corpus, a list, and we have whatever data set was there, we have taken only the review column, not the sentiment column, and we have provided the split, and by splitting we have stored all the records, and then we are initializing all corpus here. So here entire corpus is here, all the words in the corpus, all 50,000 record words are here, and then I'm counting occurrence of the words, and then I'm trying to print occurrence of distinct 2. So see, there is around 261,850 times this 2 occurs in our data. B occurs for 50,539 occurs for 169,981. So if you remove certain thing from here, it will reduce your feature set to a large level. Okay. So now I'm using I have used CMO library as well. So what I'm doing is, I will not go in this much detail. So I just want to show that this occurrence I have printed. This is a part of database exploration. So it just give me a pictorial representation. This is 1 lakh. So it just gives me a pictorial representation of how many times stop words appears and non-stop word words. And then here I'm printing non-stop word words, not in stop words. So I want to jump to the sentiment analysis portion. So it is giving me that this is around 1,20,000. So these other words are again. So the length of the corpus is this. As you can see, the corpus is very huge. Now what I'm doing is I am taking to train my machine, as I said, I need input, set of inputs and set of outputs. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm giving that if someone is writing this, that means it is negative review. If someone is writing this, this means it is negative review. So I have initialized all the data set. I have initially I have shown we have read that CSV file and importing the data sets, and then I'm taking the review column and all the 50,000 records from starting to all the 50,000 records in review and sentiment. So these are all the reviews, okay, and these are all the sentiments. We want differently to pass it to train and test for training purpose. Okay, so let's. So now there is one important term called document term matrix, which I'm not discussing here right now. If some other time we will talk. But we need to convert into numbers, and there are many ways of converting into numbers. But here my work is done by count vectorizer. Count vectorizer is doing our task. Okay. So sklearn is a library which allows us to work with so many machine learning algorithms. And here I'm using feature extraction text class, and I'm importing count vectorizer. Now count vectorizer, here you can pass the stopwords, or you can set it to none as well if you don't want to remove your stopword. So what we are doing is we are removing all the occurrence which we have seen. The occurrence of in was around 1,69,000 and so on. We are removing all this before training it. Okay. And then we are applying fit transform, which is converting, which is normalizing our data in order to pass to your method. Okay. And here I'm converting it to array, whose type becomes this. And now y is, we are in it. So we have initialized x with the train reviews. The train reviews is initialized, as you can see. Train review is set. Train review is taking all the columns of review, and train sentiment is taking. Please remember train review and train sentiments, otherwise you'll lost it. And then I'm initializing x with train reviews, and to convert into numbers we need to fit transform methods, and then I'm initializing y with x. Okay. So now entire 50,000 reviews are in x, entire 50,000 sentiments are in y. Okay. So now in order to pass it to model, I want to keep it something for testing and some data for training, right? So what we are doing here, using model selection method of this model selection class, and we are using train test split method, which allows us to split this x and y into 4 variables. Okay, so you can see x train, y train. This method returns 4 variables, and they divide these things. Okay, and they divide on the basis of what portion you provide. You can provide a fixed number, you can provide a process. This is 0.2 means 20% of your data is going for testing, and rest of the 80% data is going for training. So x test, x train, x test. So this 50,000 record is divided as 40,000 here, 10,000 here, and then y is divided into 40,000 here and 10,000 here. Okay, so and it goes column wise element. And this you can change, so this ratio will change. Okay, and random state is you want to allow to shuffle this or not. Okay, but we have placed it to 0 right now. And then as I said, I am calling logistic regression. Why I used logistic regression? Because here we are working on a binary classification problem, and it uses sigmoid function. Sigmoid function is very good for binary classification. I like to tell that this experiment I have done with documents as well, 2,000 documents, these are 5,000 records. And there I've been with SVM, KNN, and Navy bells, I guess. Yes. So, but it SVME is giving 80% result over that. So today we'll see what results we are getting. So again, it is linear model, and we are importing it. And there are several metrics. I want to discuss only accuracy score today. There is classification before, there is confusion matrix, but that will be too high to understand today. So matrix is a class which is allowing us to measure our output of our model. So good of it. And there are many parameters. As you can see, logistic regression is many parameters. Slowly you can go with one parameters, but I've used only one parameter over here. And then I'm initializing, and then I'm fitting X train and Y train. I'm passing X train, which is 40,000 record. I'm passing Y train, which is again 40,000 record, and I'm training my model. Once it is trained, I want to use this LR to predict. So I'm using predict method of LR and passing X test. Okay. And see, we have X test to test, and we have stored it labels in Y test. Sorry for this tongue sticking. And then what we are doing is we have predicted. Now we have the predicted review. Now I have displayed the predicted review. These are the predicted reviews and data type is object. But now I need to check whether I predicted right or wrong. For that, we have already the true labels we have stored in Y test. Okay. And this is predictive. So accuracy score is a method which will give the difference between them. And that will give the similarity difference. So here I am getting this 0.8677. That means that our model is performing as nearly 86% or 87% because it is more than 45. And then multiplying by 100 will give you in percentage. So the accuracy of a model is 86% by removing stop words only. Remember, we have not removed, we have not cleaned this data. Okay, you can clean this data as well. Okay. So any queries till now in this? If anybody, we can go to code again if anyone wants. It's fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. So now we are coming. So what we have seen is we have taken 50,000 records. We have trained using logistic regression. We have seen the result. Now, what algorithm or what model is good for you is really a big question. You need to experiment with all and find the best one. You can find the best one, and then you can change in the best one. And you can correct your data so the accuracy can be increased. Okay. So I would like to talk about challenges in language, natural language understanding. Yes, that words we have highly ambiguous. One statement can have multiple meanings. So these are ambiguous. And same word we use for different contexts. So language is highly ambiguous. Either it is any language, it is ambiguous. It is quite possible. It happens with me many times. I say something else and people understand. So I am not that ambiguity free that I convey the right message. So words are unique but can have different meaning depending on the context resulting in ambiguity, right? If it is used in certain context. I'll give an example. Suppose if someone asks that how much NLP you know, I'll tell that it is an ocean and I'm able to take an half cup, and till the end of my career, I like to take out at least one bucket. So this is very like I'm using bucket, I'm using ocean, I'm using cup, but no one can guess I'm talking about a knowledge about NLP. Okay. The synonym we can express the same idea with different terms. Okay, we use synonym to convey the same idea. I might be using someone else, you might be using someone else. Now, majority things of language is spoke by human, written by human, and human have their own personality, they have their own intention, they have their own emotions, and therefore they have their own style. So if I'll write in my style. If Vijaya ma'am will write, she will write in her own style. Karthik will write in her own style. Sumiti ma'am have very sweet style. So, we all represent the same thing in different manner. So it is difficult for machine to train from all the angles. So same idea can be represented using different styles by different people due to difference in their intentions and emotions. Okay. Some might be having high emotional content quotient, some might be having high intelligent quotient. So they might be framing their words like this. But when it comes to machine, we have to train our machine in that way. Okay. So now these were language related challenges. Now there are some data related challenges. As I talked about low resource languages. If you want to work with Gujarati, you need to create your corpus. Now either you will drag it from news channels, news or something, और वो news तो जो newspaper वाले आते हैं उसमें से तो copy करना भी मुश्किल है, because those are images, and if you don't have text, you have to decode images as well to get that, which is again it is easy if it is following a standard format or standard font. It is also possible. But if you want to work on low resource languages, not only India, but many other like African languages or any languages which is having low research, carrying out research work is really difficult, because you need to first create your corpus, and corpus creation takes more time than doing actual research, because when you create corpus, you have to take care of many things. For example, if you're working on classification problem, you should get label data. If you don't get label data, you might label yourself, and your expertise in particular domain may not be that accurate, right? So you will be finding domain experts, because this is an interdisciplinary. When you work with natural languages, we are not very good with literature, but we have to computerize it. But to computerize it, we should know the linguistic well as well. So we need domain experts. So creating corpus is really a challenge. And English and Chinese data is available for research activity, and that's why they are getting more solution than us, more number of solution than us. Okay, so this was me, and I would like to show you one more thing. I told you that if time permits, I would like to show you the combination of words as well. We have talked on words. I would like to wait a minute. Yeah. So I'm directly jumping to what I want to show. Yeah, I wanted to show n-gram, right? While exploring your data, word makes sense, but there are words which have combination meaning. So while exploring, you can just go for n-gram, and you can print the n-gram and see whether it is making sense. I have print this movie was it. It will print the combination of this. You can also initialize this as in list, and you can proceed for further processing as well. Okay. One more thing was then POS tagging. Suppose someone wants to say it is good, they don't want to say good, they say it is not bad. So if it is not bad, doesn't mean it is bad, it is average. So what you can do is you can find this is not and this is bad. So what you can do is you will go to find anonym of bad, which is good, and then you will delete this next, or you can find anything else, right? And then you'll replace this two with something which makes sense, because not bad is not making sense. If it works on word basis, it may take it bad. It does not bad, right? So obviously it makes sense that if someone has said not bad and bad, it is huge difference in this. So this n-gram is done with any number of grams, and while exploring you can see whether it is making sense, and if it is making sense, you can definitely create a list. You can definitely create this and pass it to your model for more bringing more accuracy to your data for your problem, any problem, right? So here I have printed 4 also. You can print any number of things. Okay, so this was from my side. So I will also. So NLP is an area which really needs our attention. Yes, it demands a lot of time because we need to understand literature as well as the tools which is allowing us to do. And particularly when you work on another languages which is not having supported libraries, it is a challenge, but it continues to advance as organizations look for ways to leverage human to machine communication for a variety of applications. We have a number of applications in our mobile which are based on which solves many of our problems. That is because of NLP. As I said, if I am, say I am standing in China, if I taking my mobile then if it is converting in English, it gives me a lot of information without asking anybody, because even if I ask, they might speak English, they might not speak English, and if they speak English, I may not be that good in English as well. Definitely, they are not going to speak English. Okay, so this was from my side, and yes, we are in lockdown, but what I feel is, due to this lockdown, there is less CO2, less NOT, less PM 2.5 concentrating air. PM 2.5 concentrate is very dangerous for us. We are having clean water, birds in the sky, animals on the road, various types of fish in the coastal canals. So, see, these are the positive changes. Economic is definitely going down, but our cities are looking beautiful. If you see some of the snaps, we don't believe that we are in India. We're in foreign. So we should be left with a lesson that we should take care of our environment, do vehicle pooling, and use less you should use AC to a less number of hours and so on. Hope we are left with a lesson, not overuse and pollute the earth, and feel that this all resources does not belong to human only, they belongs to other species as well, because we are locked inside, and therefore birds or the fish in the canal are so free and so happy. And if you see the video, you really feel happy seeing them. Nature is so beautiful. So with every experiment I do, I learn something new, and thank you for providing me this opportunity, Deepjaya ma'am and Sumiti ma'am. I really learned while preparing this as well. And my motive was you should left with at least one record in repository of your knowledge. I know many of the attendees are faculties and experts or so I, with due respect, I hope I justified my 1 hour of talk. Thank you so much. So over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for a very informative session.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for disseminating your expertise on NLP, through which I strongly believe that every participant will get a better knowledge on NLP. Now, ma'am, we have some queries from our participants. Shall we start with the queries?
Yes, sure, ma'am. I'll start with best of my abilities.
Okay, the first one is there any technique to remove names from the text?
Sorry?
Is there any technique to remove names from the text?
Mails? Are you talking about MAIL mails?
Name. NAME name.
I think I've heard the value MA. Sorry.
NAME names. The names of the people.
Yes. It is we have name entity recognition, and it allows us to do that.
Okay. The another one is what is morphological analysis?
Achha. Morphological analysis is something like, if I talk about Hindi or Gujarati, those are highly morphological languages because of their dirghayu and this is. So analyzing those things are said to be morphological analysis of the text. And the languages which are high in morphology are difficult to handle than normal English text.
The another one is can we use NLP for auto generation of questions in education?
Yes.
Is it possible?
But you have to work very hard. Yes, it is possible. But you have to work very hard. See, every application is possible, but the time it needs, we don't have that much time. Let me tell you very frankly, because giving 1 2 hour, you have to go inside it, and then you can generate any solution.
Okay. One more is there, ma'am. How does stemming and lemmatization for languages like Sanskrit work?
See, again, as I said, after stemming and after lemmatization, it checks whether, although it is Hindi, it has its vocabulary, right? There are set of words that are specific set of words. So it checks from that words. And aside prefix base and suffix base. If you know, some are, I'm very bad in explaining it, but some is like this and some is like this. It removes alls, right? That is scamming. But it should not lose meaning. For that, you need to check in the corpus or vocabulary of that language. Okay.
Okay. Okay. One more is there, ma'am. What is the right order for the text classification model components?
Right order. Right
Huh.
order is first to the label of your classification problem, which are the possible labels, because how many numbers of labels are there? Suppose you have 10 classes, you should never go for 10 classes at once. You should start with 3 class, build your model, see the result, and slowly add one more class and features to it. And obviously you should go with all the exploration part and cleaning portion, but you should not go at all for 10 classes at once. You should start with 3, add one more, and so you can definitely see the features, how they are working.
Okay. One more is there. Can we use NLP for website URLs and its classification?
Websites URL in classification. I mean to say that you want to say that this is that say 1,000 numbers of URLs, and this URL is giving me this particular. If I want to learn NLP, which are the websites will give me about NLP? Is it like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it is like that, obviously, because when you decode, you will get either NLP, either natural language processing, or either feature texture, or any of the NLP related. So yes, you can do it.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Last one is there. What is semantic parsing in NLP?
Semantic parsing. Let me tell you, syntax is about. I like to tell, if I form a sentence, it is like C is a good girl. C good girl. I don't say this is syntax. Now semantics is something related to context. You know, I have not gone much in the parsing, but semantic is something which related to context. Word, why this particular word have used, and what is its context. For example, I gave you an example of ocean, cup, and this bucket. But their context is altogether different. It is not about having tea. It is not about doing visiting ocean or something like that, right? So semantic parsing is something about on the data, understanding in what context the data has been used.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, as we are restricted by time, so I call Karthik sir to continue with the questions posted on YouTube.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, we have a number of participants on YouTube also, and I have some questions regarding that. The first question is, in a sentiment analysis, before sentiment analysis, we have to do a data cleaning, right? So how can we be sure about the accuracy of that data cleanness, that only unwanted words are removed?
See, as I said, they have already a list of stop words, right? And I also said once, sometimes stop words also help. But obviously, it will not help if it is 1,69,000. So data exploration plays an important role over there. Obviously, you cannot say, for example, I am classifying on 10 classes, okay? And and each class have 1,000 documents. I cannot go through entire 1,000 documents, but I should explore at least 100 or 200 documents to see how we have cleaned our data. We have not removed numbers. COVID-19 was still there. We understood that we should not remove number from this, because number plays an important role, because it is a name. COVID-19 is a name. So without looking inside in your data, cleaning is not a good option. You should go explore your data and then only apply cleaning, what is required and what is not required. You should not just follow, so remove all special characters or all numbers or all things. You need to go inside in your data.
Okay, ma'am. One more question is there. Can I combine two different libraries for NLP and hope that the result will get improved?
Yes, you can, but you need to change at code level. It's like,
You just can't apply one model and then again model, it will give two different results. So you need to go into the how they have. For example, if it is axiom, it has kernel function, right? There are many kernel functions, so you need to change that kernel function. And if you have decision tree algorithm, it is checking an impurity on the basis of entropy and Gini. So there, if you work on CAN, and it is using distance measure. So you have to go inside on your distance measure and Gini formula, and you do have to make statistical changes and then code it. You cannot use the library as it is, and then definitely you can do it. You can do anything.
Okay. And one last question. As many of our participants are working on different languages for NLP, so is there any special library for Gujarati or Hindi that we can work on?
Yes, there is a CLTK, INLTK. I've used it before 1 year or two, but they are not serving that much purpose. They are not helping us much. So I cannot tell much because they might have improved, but this is CLTK and INLTK. You can use it and see if it is working for your data. And even if it is not working for your data, if some impurities are there, you can remove by coding later on. Use those libraries and go inside your data, and later on write your own method to clean further data, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I'm handing over to Mega ma'am. Okay, Mega ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, continue.
Thank you, ma'am. At the end of this wonderful session, I am sure we all have enjoyed and gained knowledge in NLP. On behalf of Vivekanand College for Advanced Computer and Information Science, I, Megha Rana, Assistant Professor, thankful to Mrs. Kausika Pal, ma'am, for sharing her expert knowledge with us. She has given her precious time to be part of this webinar. Ma'am, we are getting comments from participants through YouTube streaming that session is very informative. Now I thank our trustee, Sri Vipul Joshi sir and Nima ma'am for their guidance. I also thank Sumati ma'am, campus director, in-charge principal, Mrs. Lipcha Patel, for organizing this webinar. I would like to show my gratitude to Kartik sir and Sasank sir for their continuous help in technical side, YouTube streaming by Dr. Ami Desai. My heartfelt thanks to all the staff members who were directly, indirectly helped to make the webinar successful. Last but not least, my thanks to all the educators and researchers who attended this webinar. I request you all to fill feedback form so that we can improve ourselves in our next step. With these warm words, we move to the end of today's webinar. Thank you for being with us. Respected participants, feedback form link is given in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's great working with you people. Thank you. See you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Kaushik.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kaushika ma'am, it was very informative, and thank you once again from
Thank
all
you,
of
ma'am.
us.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to help others and join your team for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. It was a wonderful event, ma'am. And even the layman
Thank
could
you, ma'am.
understand it.
So, am I allowed to leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
We'll meet soon again.
Participants, the link is there in the chat box. Please fill the feedback form. And YouTube participants, the link is there in our description section. Please check it.
give the feedback form link?
Ma'am, it is there in the chat box.
No, ma'am, it is not there.
No, ma'am, it is not in the chat box. We are unable to process it.
It was nice session.
Ma'am, we have just posted a feedback link in chat box. Just check one more time.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So we don't have feedback. We don't have feedback.
Sir, please send me.
Posted in a chat box. You can check chat box window. You will get the link from Dr. Purva
So
Desai
where shall we
and
send the feedback?
Sir, I request you to send that link on the mail also. Mailbox. Feedback form link.
Okay, sir, we'll do that also. But you can see the feedback link on the chat box also. Please see that.
Thank you, organizers. Thank you, organizers.
We get the feedback, ma'am. Let us in the meeting.
Hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Hello, madam. Can we get to the PPT, madam? Today's PPT.
We have to take the permission from our speaker, sir. If we get the permission, we are going to mail you this PPT, sir.
Okay, madam. It's a very nice presentation. I wanted to go back to it again, madam.
Okay, sir.
So you can mail me, madam. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you all the participants for joining us for this webinar. You can fill your feedbacks. The link has been provided in the chat box.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is chat box, ma'am?
Ma'am, it's on the top right corner of your screen. Just scroll it. You will get feedback link.
It's
Top
not
right corner,
opening to me, ma'am.
And hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
I got my certificate also, madam.
Pardon,
Hello.
sir. I'm not. Yes,
I got my e-certificate also, madam.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
I have filled the form, PDF feedback form. After that, I got my certificate also, madam.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Just now I received it, madam. Thank you so much, madam.
Welcome, sir.
வெங்காய செடி நட்டு எப்படி நட்டு வைப்பாங்க? வெங்காய செடிலாம் வெங்காயத்தை நட்டுக்கிட்டா வெங்காய செடி வைக்கணும்.
வெங்காயத்தாள் தான்
தாள்னா நிறைய செடி நட்டு வச்சுட்டோமா, இன்னொரு பாக்ஸ்ல ஃப்ரீயா இருக்குது, அதெல்லாம் நட்டு வைக்கணும். இல்ல எப்படி நட்டு வைக்கணும்? குட்டி வெங்காயம் நட்டு.
Hello, madam. We are here unable to find chat box in GoToMeeting app.
Pardon, sir?
We are unable to find chat box in the GoToMeeting app. Please, sir.
Okay, sir. Then we'll mail you the feedback link, sir. We'll mail you soon.
So please mail us. Mail me. Chetan Dave and Darsha Patel, Bilimora.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your name is visible over here. Your name is visible here. We'll send the link in your mail, sir. Okay?
Within the next 5 or 10 minutes, you will send the mail or?
Yes, sir. We'll do it soon. Okay, today itself we'll send the mail.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, Vijayalakshmi ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not receiving the feedback in the mobile, ma'am. So kindly please send the feedback link through the mail, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. We are going to send it again to all the participants. The link we are going to send it today itself. Okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
એટલે મેલ ઉપર મોકલાવશે તમારા મેલ હું તમને આવશે એટલે તમને WhatsApp કરી દઈશ બરોબર તમારે આવે તો તમે મને બતાવી
મેસેજ મોકલવાના છે
હા આ લોકો દઈ દે ઈમેલ ઉપર આપણે ઘરેથી મોકલી દઈશું
Chetan sir, you're audible. Chetan sir, you're audible.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chetan sir. Dear participants, we are going to send the feedback link in your WhatsApp as well as in the mail today itself. Please fill in the feedback form so that you can receive your e-certificate within 4 working days.
Hello.
Thank you.
તમને WhatsApp પર મોકલું છું અને તમે જરા ચેક કરો અને તમને મળ્યું કે ના મળ્યું એ તો પાછો જરાક મને મેસેજ કરો
అక్కడ నాకు వాట్సాప్ చేస్తారు అంకుల్
Sumati ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think we have done with all the chats and all, not receiving any more chats from the participants. So I think we can end up the session now.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you. You can.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Wait, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Yes.
Sir, wait.
Okay.
அது கட்ட முடியுதா
This is Kalaimani, ma'am. You're audible.
The number you have dialed is
Divya ma'am, your mic is on. Your mic is on.